Well, good morning. Welcome to our Saturday morning ride. We're just warming up right now, finding super light resistance, just feeling for that lightest resistance that we can just pedal super smoothly and easily, turning the legs slowly, just loosening up the legs a little bit. And as we do that, we can shake out our shoulders and check our arms to make sure that they're relaxed with the elbows slightly bent. Deep, deep, intentional breathing from the belly. Nice neutral spine. Neck aligned with the rest of the spine so we're not hunched over. All these things, so good to pay attention to. Posture, body awareness, breath. All good. All so good for us. And as we pedal nice and lightly here, we'll notice just a little warmth coming into the muscles of the legs. And feel just a little bit of an increase in our breathing and our heart rate. So just take a couple of nice, really deep, intentional breaths. And really arrange yourself on your bike so that you're very relaxed and one with the machine. If that makes sense, right? We're just one with it. We're not fighting it in any way. We're fit to it beautifully. We're integrated with it. I'm feeling these muscles work. Well, let's take one more deep breath from the belly. Actually feel your belly expand as you take that breath. And now just using the same resistance that you have now, very light. Let's see if we can't sense for the rhythm of this song. Maybe close your eyes as you do that. That sometimes helps in feeling out the rhythm of the song. Remove some distractions and helps us feel for that beat. There, I've got it. So now that I have the rhythm, I've done that little mind-body practice of aligning my leg speed to the rhythm of the song. Let's add a little resistance. Enough that it makes it feel a little more challenging. Gets a little more work out of the muscles of the legs. But nothing super strenuous right now. And let's just hold right here as we further warm up the legs. And I want you to pay attention to your breathing. It should be coming up a little bit more now with that increase in resistance. And now let's add just a tiny bit more. So we get just a little more work out of the muscles of the legs as we hold this rhythm. And again, check in with your elbows and your shoulders. Make sure everything's relaxed and neutral. Just settled into the saddle. And now, just for a few seconds, accelerate your legs off the rhythm of the song, keeping the hips steady, keeping the upper body relaxed. Adding work by now increasing leg speed rather than resistance. Okay, slow the legs down using the same resistance you have. Quickly, mindfully, find this rhythm. Now we're going to add resistance so it feels like we've entered a moderate hill. And there are a couple of cues, right? We can notice when we enter into a hill. One is we absolutely feel the hips start to drive because with that heavier resistance, the hips and the work they're doing become more pronounced. So see if you can feel that. There's a tendency in indoor cycling to use just the quadriceps, but I really want to encourage you to think about a full circle. And that full circle involves the hips, the glutes, the calves, and the hamstrings as well. But right now, we've entered a hill, so we feel those hips driving. Heart rate's coming up. Good. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Now I'd like for us to make this hill a little bit steeper now. So add even more resistance, and we're definitely now into the range where it's uncomfortable. But we can also absolutely feel the lower back and hips. And I myself just noticed my breath starting to come up even more rapid now. See if you can feel all those muscles working. That's an important part of our process. Being tuned into the body, sensing the muscles working is our meditation. It's our mindfulness practice. Yes, you can be working hard. And yes, you can also be relaxed. All right, let's take our resistance back down to 1. Go easy, flat road. And quickly, let's just check in with our breathing. That should get you breathing pretty hard, right? Maybe you're starting to sweat already. Good. That's what we want. That's perfect. Now using your light resistance, let's find about 92 RPM. A flat road pedal speed that feels comfortable. It feels like we're actually working. I like to count the rhythm in my head. It forces me to listen deeply to the music. See if you can do that at home. Now we've got maybe a minute and a half to 2 minutes left in this song. Let's increase our resistance to the point where that sounds a little daunting, right? So we're going to hold this rhythm But now add resistance that causes that little part of our brain to go, oh no, I'm not sure I can do this. And we're going to settle in with just a beautiful body position. We're going to use this time to check in with our shoulders, that alignment of the neck and the rest of the spine. It's also a good time to notice all the different muscles working. This time let's focus on feeling those calf muscles and those hamstring muscles pulling us through the bottom part of the pedal stroke. This is beautiful work if we can do it, yeah? Alright, just close your eyes and feel that rhythm. Slowing the legs, adding resistance, we have now entered a challenging hill. So where before we were in kind of like this, now we're into a steeper hill. Get that resistance in now. Now remember, I always put my hands closer together when I'm hill climbing, because that allows my back to be more upright, which allows my glutes and hips to be more effective. You can do a test at home. If you lean down onto your handlebars, you'll notice the glutes and the hips really come out of the equation. This helps us use them. All right, you got your rhythm? We're going to stand up for the first time. Now, if you're on a spin bike at home or you're used to regular spin classes, make sure you do what we do, which is to crank the resistance so heavy that you can't pedal it seated anymore. And therefore you have to rise out onto the pedals. That's how we do it. All right, in 2. And 1. Crank the resistance, ease on out. Yes, this is hard, but we're only here for a short while. Ease back the resistance slightly, come back to seated climbing. Keep the pressure on. We're still in our hill. This is not a break. It's just less than what it took to stand up. All right, coming back to a lighter resistance. Take 20 seconds with light resistance to close your eyes. Keep your breathing deep and rhythmic from the belly. And just see if you can feel for this beat. That's all we're trying to do right now. This is our mind-body practice. Bringing the sound in through the ears, processing it in the brain, outputting it through the legs. This is mindfulness.
Don't get me wrong, I'm in all of this world and its complexities. The meaning isn't based on the importance of being, but on the relationships in between.
All right, I got it. Do you have it at home? Now, add resistance that you could not hold for 2 minutes at this pedal speed.
You preach that life is a miracle, but to me it's just cause and effect.
And let's work on breathing just a little bit here.
Someone else will, who could care?
Inhale by the belly expanding. Exhale by the belly retracting.
And I said, don't get me wrong, I'm in all of this world and its complexities. But meaning isn't based on the importance of being, but on the relationships in between. I said,
We're at the right resistance right now. This is challenging, right? So what do you say? For 10 seconds we accelerate the legs. Just for 10 seconds. And bring it back to just a moderate resistance and slow the legs a little bit. So we're going to practice some really deep presence. And we're going to look within for that motivation, that strength that's already there. It's in each and every one of us. We're going to do that by accelerating our legs and bringing in resistance and visualizing ahead of us a flat road that we're pedaling down with a very hard gear. I just added more, as you can see. So now I'm into the uncomfortable zone at this very moment. And now, I want you to settle in, tuning into your shoulders, your elbows, your hands, your sit bones, the muscles working. Okay, add resistance, slow your legs. Now we're back into climbing. Make sure your resistance is heavy. We're going to come up multiple times out of the saddle. Spinners. Remember, Revo cycle standing is on extremely heavy resistance that you couldn't do for more than 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes. So remember to crank it before you rise up. Let's do it. Are you ready? In 2, 1. Crank it up. Now, how do you know you got enough resistance? You don't need to lean on the handlebars. Your hands are light. Simply balancing yourself as your weight goes into the extremely heavy pedal stroke. Ease it off, back into seated climbing, but stay with the pressure. What's happened to your breathing? Notice, assess. Now it's time to start paying attention to the mind. What's your mind doing? Is it wandering to the future or the past? If it is, that's okay. But come back to now. Close your eyes. Feel the beat. Feel the muscles. We're going to stand again. Are you ready? In 2. And 1. Add that resistance in. Rise into the pedals. Hands are light. Easing back to seated climbing again. We want to stay in our hill. So you're probably wondering, how much time is left in this hill? Maybe a minute and a half. What does that make you think when I tell you that? Do you feel like maybe you could add some more? Do you feel like you have too much on? I just added a little bit more. All right, we're rising up again in 2. And 1. Adding resistance, rising into it. Chest is nice and tall. Hands are nice and light. Now back to seated climbing. Just close your eyes. Keep that deep rhythmic breathing coming from your belly. Don't let it sneak up into chest breathing. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Keep your hands light. Drive that pedal stroke from the hips. For the last 20 seconds, add even more. And let's bring our resistance back down to flat road. Let's do a quick assessment together, shall we? How sweaty are you? How out of breath are you? If you have a heart rate monitor, take a look at that right now. I think the microphone's good enough that you can probably hear my breathing. And what's beautiful about what we're doing together here is that I'm describing for you feelings, efforts. And for each of us, that resistance will be different on those different efforts, which is fine. We're all in different levels of condition for cycling. What might be easy for you could be hard for me at a particular pedal speed. So it's about feelings, perceived exertion. Just reaching down, adding a little bit of resistance now. As we keep the legs turning at just a moderate speed. And once again, we turn our attention to our neck and the spine, and our sit bones settled onto the saddle. Wiggle your fingers like I'm doing right here. And if you're ready, we can add some more resistance now and pick up our leg speed a little bit. And start to feel like we're moving quickly again along a flat road. At exercise level, you know. Not just dawdling, but at exercise level. With our leg speed at about 90 RPM. And for the next 30 seconds or so, let's really pay attention to the different muscle groups as they engage in the different parts of the pedal stroke. If you pay attention, you can really feel the engagement and disengagement of different muscle groups around that circle. And that is a beautiful mindfulness practice. So let's do this for 30 seconds. And the level of effort that we have right now, as I said, it's exercise level. So your heart rate is increasing a little bit as we do our mindfulness practice. Okay, here's what I want us to do now. I want us to slow our legs down. Just leave the resistance where it is. And we're going to visualize right ahead of us a very steep hill. And the minute we hit the base of that hill, it goes upwards, and we have to stand up onto our pedals in order to get through that section. So we're going to do just a rapid transition from easy flat road pedaling to standing, slow, heavy climbing. So right now we're still on easy flat road pedaling. I'll count you into it, okay? In 2 and 1. Let's add that resistance, slow our legs, step into this section. Feeling for that rhythm. Quiet the mind if you can't find the rhythm. All right, come back down to hill. And notice you're out of breathness. Should be very high out of breathness. Now is a good time to check, has any tension crept into your hands, or your arms, or your shoulders, First spine. If it has, release it. Settle the weight onto your saddle. You ready to come up out of the saddle again with me? Let's make this the most beautiful one yet. Remember, form and focus is everything in fitness. Everything. You ready? In 2. In 1. Add that resistance. Rise into it. Can you stay a little bit longer? Just a little bit. In 2. In 1. Back to seated climb. We're going to finish this hill right here in the seated position. And there's not much longer left, so keep your pressure on if you can. All right, let's bring our resistance back down. Just turn the legs slowly for a few seconds with light resistance. I don't know. I've got a good camera, but I'm not sure if you can see how sweaty I am or not. So this is just a short song. We're going to take it to ourselves. So just notice our active recovery process. Light resistance, slow pedaling, noticing the breath slowing, noticing the heart rate slowing. This is yours. Very short song. I want you to do active recovery. All right, slowing the legs just a little bit more now. This is going to be our final work song. And we're going to reach heights of power output in the muscles and heights of breathing and heart rate. And we're going to do that by getting ourselves to a flat road pedal speed and then just shifting to harder and harder and harder gears as we hold that pedal speed. It's just like being out on a road, setting yourself up at a speed on your bike, and then as you maintain that cadence, click into a harder gear and click into a harder gear. It becomes more difficult each time we do that. And as we hold that pedal speed with a harder gear, our bikes go faster. That's what we're going to recreate right now. So get your leg speed up at a light to moderate gear, like you're at exercise level. And quickly check to make sure your hips aren't bouncing and your upper body's not torquing around. You're very nice and relaxed. And now, click a gear. Make sure you feel it in the muscles of the legs. Hold that speed, settle in for a few seconds. Click, add another gear. Feel the extra work come into the muscles of the legs. Notice the sensation of your bike accelerating each time you add that new gear, and hold that pedal speed. So we're starting to feel some discomfort in the legs, yes? And the breathing is coming up. If not, add some more right now. Let's go another gear. Starting to feel a little resistance in the mind, yes? Perfect. Me too. Let's go another gear. Hold this pedal speed. Now is most important time of all is to relax your belly. And breathe deeply. Yes, there's discomfort in the legs. Let's make it even more uncomfortable now. Another gear. You can do this. Not much longer to go, I promise. In my mind right now, I'm checking on my shoulders, making sure my hands aren't getting tense. If you can do it and still hold this pedal speed, add just a tiny bit more. This is the last one. And bring it down. Bring it down and slow your legs. Good job. Let's review. Let's think about those last 30 seconds or so of that last song. Were you finding it hard to hold that rhythm? If you were, that's perfect. If you have a heart rate monitor on, it's a good time to check it right now. If you don't, that's fine. Just check your breathing. Just register how out of breath you are right now. If you have a watch, go ahead and look at it and count your pulse for 15 seconds. Good work today, guys. Nice. We're into full cool down mode now, so we're pedaling slowly. We have light resistance, and we're trying to let the body recover now. So let's slow the legs down even more, and let's take even a little more resistance out. And if you can, go ahead and sit up with your legs still turning. And shake out your hands and shake out your shoulders. And now let's take out even more resistance and slow our legs even more. So it's about 10:42. We'll have about a 45-50 minute ride today, which is just a beautiful way to start off your Saturday. Alright, letting your legs come to a stop. Let's sit up and take 3 deep breaths together and notice how wonderful we feel, okay, as we take those breaths. Inhale. Inhale again. And one more. Let's stand up onto the pedals. And with your feet horizontal, let's let the heels drop so we have a nice stretch in the calves. Now let's rotate the back foot to the front. And again, just drop your heels. And now swinging the leg off the bike. I'd like for you to take now the next, 2 minutes to stretch your quads and your hamstrings, but also hold a little special place for gratitude for yourselves, for showing up today for yourself, for any moments of peace and calm that you had today. Even the briefest of moments are worth being grateful for, and for celebrating how our bodies can move so beautifully. Thanks for joining me today, you guys. Make sure to do your quad and your hamstring stretch. Stick around a little bit. We'll see you again next time.